Send to the charger. Get to the charger. Go now.
Never thought I'd believe in miracles. You made me realize that you're the...
Welcome back to Gaming with the Hackets. We're going to be playing Nuclearis today. And I'm just going to continue my save file. So right now I have 2 loop operations going. I pretty much just started up and maybe have gotten halfway through my first day. Yeah, so we're at about 1600. So just gonna go through some stuff. Okay, so we're gonna come into the control room here, and then you can see I've basically doubled the power. And now if I want, I can just bypass my turbine. We'll do 20% because that's a large increase. You'll see it drop. And that's because steam is going past the turbine, so it's not going into the turbine and impacting the turbine blades. So the more you bypass, the less steam will actually go to the turbine. So that was about, I don't know, oh, it's still going. Now we're at about 100 kilowatts removed. So I guess we'll just see where this ends up. I'll continue doing stuff. And then with the 2 loop operations, you can see that I've got loop 3 running at a higher speed than loop 1. And that's currently because in the game, the loop 2 and 1 are a lot hotter in this, like they give more output to the steam generators than loop 3, which is weird. I don't know why. So if you look at the characteristics when you just start operating with 2 loops, you'll notice that loop 3 always lags behind. So you need to bump up the flow in loop 3 more than you do in loop 2. Okay, so we dropped about 200 just from bypass. You can also affect the temperature going out by doing your rods. So you can either go a little bit higher or lower, and that will also affect how much steam you're going to produce. You want to be sitting right about 360. So I'm at 9.97 on the reactivity, and 10 is like steady state even, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you bump it up, say I go to, oh, yeah, there we go, 95.6, you'll see that my reactivity actually goes up a bit. So I'd start heating up the primary. And that's simply because of the reactivity balance. When you remove control rods, you actually expose more fuel, and that fuel can then start reacting. So control rods are just neutron absorbers, and the more you pull them out, the more neutrons they're going to absorb to prevent that reaction from speeding up or, increasing neutron population. So that's the whole point of the control rods. Balances out the reactivity from the fuel. So now we're just steady state, and we need to earn as much money as possible. I'd say before 11 the next day. That way I can actually, add another loop, because I'm at the point where I could absolutely add more loops. I could still operate 2 loops for a while, but I do need to add the extra loops in a bit. So we're just gonna let this run. If you haven't played in a while, they added fuses. This one had no fuse for my playthrough. So I had to come back here, flip this switch, and then put in a fuse just like that. And the fuses are up in the diesel room, which I can show you that real quick while we're waiting for things. It's not out of service. I don't know why you keep saying that. So weird. Unless I bought a third turbine. Oh, circ pump added to my inventory. So maybe I already bought this stuff. Okay. So the fuses actually are over here. Now they're on the floor. That's weird. So you can request assistant operating, and then you can also get unlimited maintenance tasks, which is important because if you don't, he can only do 5, and then he'll work until his battery runs out basically. So this is a nice upgrade. And then you can also have him do different things, but this one's probably the best upgrade you can get. So let's just have him do a maintenance thing, and then we'll send him to the charger. Send to the charger. Get to the charger. Go now. I think what I'll do is we'll do a shutdown right now, just to include it in this 2 loops, and then while I'm shutting down, I'll have AO do another maintenance report, and then we'll see how that goes. So we're gonna put, okay, it is an automatic. Okay. So basically what I'm gonna do is request the shutdown. It's about 1500, so let's go ahead and scram the reactor. Boop. These rods will drive in. The reaction stops. And then we're going to just pull out the heat. And cool down the generators that way. So I'm going to turn this to fast. As you can see, these aren't pulling out as much heat, so I'm going to reduce them down to, say, slow. We've lost connection to the bus, so I'm just going to trip the turbine, which we're going to repair anyways, but now I want to see if this actually works to cool down the plant. I clicked open, but thank you. Doesn't really seem like it amber overloaded, so. "45% wear, 45% wear, 43% wear." So there's a lot of wear. So we're just gonna finish the shutdown cooldown. And then we're going to get into maintenance. Why aren't these draining? I definitely opened them. Maybe they're stuck.
The reactor has lost critical mass reactivity, and its state has changed to...
Yay, lost reactivity. So now if you wanted to pull the fuel out of the core, you have to actually drain the outer vessel, which I learned by reading the manual. Also, someone said it in the comments. Why? It's like everything's glitched. I'm very confused. Okay, well, these pumps can come off. I'm just gonna turn this off.
The reactor core coolant has stopped circulating.
Good. Okay, well I'm gonna go check these drain valves because clearly it's not working. And then it says like, I don't know how far you have to drain it, but it said in the manual that if you don't drain it, when you open the core to pull out the fuel, the difference in temperature between the inside of the core and the pool would basically cause like the fuel to crack open and then rupture. Turn this off. So if I wanted to extract it, I should be able to. No, turn.
New operating mode established. Shutdown mode.
Should just be able to hit this button. And as you can see, it comes out of the core. And if we want to put it back in, we'll just put it back in. I do want to see though if anything happens when the water comes back up. Okay, so apparently nothing happened. Let's see. Just gonna go ahead and turn these panels off. That way we can actually do the maintenance. I don't know if you need to turn them off, but we're still not at 100. Okay, maxed out. We'll let that fully turn off. Hopefully it's off by now. And then we're gonna stop the diesel.
Operator, turbine generator has been out of service for an internal failure and requires maintenance. There are no turbines available. Start the maintenance protocol as soon as possible. Operator,
Oops.
turbine generator has been out of service for an internal failure and requires maintenance. There are no turbines available.
Okay,
Start the maintenance protocol.
so everything's off.
Operator, there is no
We're going
internal power
to-
supply. It is impossible to control the reactor under these conditions.
But how can you keep running? There is no internal supply throughout the reactor.
I can keep working because I have a separate battery. The engineers who designed me thought that my system should be independent.
Well, at least they thought of one thing right.
The internal emergency generator is stopped. You must activate it to supply power to the
Well, looks like they're still connected somehow. Even though there's no power. Now we're going to add these two and start the maintenance. So now you don't have to worry about your diesel running out of fuel. There's no real risk here because the simulation's not completely accurate. If you just shut down a reactor, you gotta operate pumps for like several days. And that's to remove all the decay heat from the fission products. So when the uranium splits, it splits into energetic atoms that want to decay. There's a lot of them, so you have to wait for those to decay before you can just remove core cooling. Okay. So that's our maintenance shutdown. Okay, now we're gonna put our batteries on first. Just put them on automatic. That should draw power back to the
Well
building.
done, operator. You must closely monitor the internal supply. A failure in the supply during the operation of the reactor is very dangerous.
I know, AO. You don't have to tell me a million times. Okay, so now our generator's gonna kick on. Party started 95. It's probably not going to be enough to get us to, well, maybe it'll get us to 360 because operating we'd sit around 95 and a half, 95.7. Go ahead and fast forward.
The reactor has reached critical mass, and its status has changed to reactive.
Turn that off.
Best to give me your loyalty. Cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty.
Synchroscope, you want it going in real world, you'd want it going slow in the fast direction. So we're ready to parallel. As you can see, we're going too fast, so we need to lower the speed. And in the reality, you wouldn't have them matched. You would have them close to being matched. So it'd still be spinning, and then you'd want to shut the breaker in between like 11 and 1. Closest to noon as possible. That way they're in phase. Like this is checking the phase angle between the two. So if one's at like 51.1 hertz, it's obviously going to be leading a little bit. So the phase angle is what we care about with paralleling. Okay, so we're producing power. We're on the bus. And we're just chilling again. Just waiting for everything to get to steady state. We're at 50, so we gotta bump these up. Probably getting low now. We're gonna go 42. This one will probably have to go a little bit higher. So we'll do 46. Those we'll have to tinker around with a little bit more. Like it slowly comes up. Oh, overpressurizing again. Should probably just turn it on low. Yeah, overpressurized. We're fine. We're fine. As long as we don't hit 300 pounds or 300 bar, we'll be okay. And then they also said in the manual, it talks about a little bit about like heat, thermodynamic type stuff. So it talks about the critical point of water. It's like 747 degrees, 300 pounds. And you can't let those reach those levels. So if you get to 747 degrees, it's gonna flash to steam regardless. So the 300 bar, I'm not really sure. I mean, that would just be a bad point for your pressure vessel. So that's a lot of pounds. Yeah. We've made it to 360. We're super critical still. So we're gonna go to 95.6. Maybe 95.7. Actually a little bit more. Still coming up. Wow, okay. I don't want to go too hot. Okay, we're gonna leave it there for right now. Pressure heaters are off. Looking good there. Okay, this needs to come up like 2, and then I'm gonna raise it all together about 3 or 4. That should bump it back up into the green band. Okay, so there we go. 2-loop operation, steady state. From steady state to maintenance, or to shutdown, maintenance, and back started up. All in one video. And I'll trim out the parts where it's just a bunch of waiting around. So, thanks for watching, guys, and hope this helps you see how 2-loop operations go. Next step would be 3-loop operations, where you're going to get another turbine, and then also a steam generator and 2 circ pumps, which I already have the 1. So, that's pretty much it. So, have yourselves a good day, and I'll check you guys later.